Tom, the Lone Wolf Prepper. How's everybody doing this afternoon? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, my live stream's running a little late today, but it was a nice day where the weather it got cool out and I could actually do some work outside without completely sweating my ass off. Anyway, so I'm a little late today. But anyway, today we're going to talk about what's your favorite SHTF movie? I mean, are you kidding me? I've been outside all afternoon. I'd start my live stream. It's going to decide to rain. This might be a short live stream. I may have to take it inside. Anyway, just a couple drops. But yeah, we're going to talk about little uh, lighter subject today. What's your favorite SHTF movie? And I'm talking about as far back as you want to go. Anyway, because the 70s, they sure came out with some good ones. So anyway, that's what we're going to talk about today. But got to wait for a few people to show up. But yeah, we definitely got a break in the weather today. It's been hot for a while. I mean, we've been getting moisture with it here and there, thunderstorms and stuff, but it's been definitely warm. And the bugs are bad. So if you see me dancing around, it's because the bugs are, guys can see them. They're kind of leaving me alone. And I got the wind blowing, but where I'm out of the wind. So that means that's where the bugs are at. So anyway, gotta take good with the bad. But on this channel, I like doing my live streams outside. Lone Wolf Prepper outside. The other channel's inside. So anyway, but just wait for a few people to show up. Hope everybody's enjoying what's going on. If you ever need a reason to prep these days, all you got to do is you look out your window if you're close enough to it, or there's lots of reasons these days, or just look how your government's spending your money. That ought to give you enough of a reason to be a prepper right there. So anyway, and people that don't understand it, I don't know what to tell you. By the way, let's get into the subject. What is your favorite SHTF movie? I tell you what, in the 70s, they came out with a lot of good ones. And the nice thing about YouTube and stuff is you can sit there and watch them for free. And YouTube really doesn't put commercials on them because nobody else likes watching them. One of my favorite SHTF movies from the 70s is Where Have All the People Gone? Where all these people, a virus or whatever, got hit. Jolene Barron, how you doing? Glad you're here today. Anyway, talking about your favorite SHTF movie. What is it? What's your favorite disaster movie? Okay, you guys, don't start getting crazy and try to knock over the camera. But yeah, the ones from 70s, they had a lot of good SHTF movies. I guess there must have been, I was a kid back then, but as a kid, you don't really pay attention. But I did like those movies. Anything fantasy and dealing with, that type of stuff I liked. But yeah, Where Have All the People Gone? Then we got the more recent ones, of course. I guess The Stand. Heck, that one, that TV movie, that one's 31 years old already. I guess that's not so new either. Or Armageddon with Bruce Willis and stuff. That was a good one. But you pick your disaster. What do you want? A solar flare that gets everybody sick where they turn into little crystal things, asteroid hitting, the biological. One thing about biological, at least you'd have infrastructure and stuff still there. But nuclear power plants might have been an issue. So, and then some good ones on TV they had in the 80s. Anybody remember The Day After? That was an awesome TV show. It came out in 1983. It was on 2 nights and stuff about nuclear war with Russia. And, when I was 16 when I saw that, 15, 16. 16, it was interesting. Okay. To say the least. And then you had, what was the one I was thinking of? But, disaster. But I just wondering what other people's favorite disaster movies are. Now it's all about heroes, and I don't even go to watch any new Hollywood, but it seems like most of the commercials about Hollywood are superheroes and stuff these days. So, oh, let's not forget the movie 2012. That was a good one. That had John Cusack in it. Well, I remember seeing John Cusack when he was just basically no more than an extra in 16 Candles. His sister Joan was in that too. She was the one that wore the face retainer thing or whatever. So, but hey, you know what? It's starting to rain. I've been out here all day working. It's been nice and cool. It's been cloudy, but now it's gonna rain. Well, let's see how much I can take. I don't want to get my phone too wet. I still got, that's my studio these days. So, but I didn't bring a rain suit, so I'm not prepared. But I'm only a couple hundred yards from the house, so I'm good to go. Okay. But what's your favorite disaster? Another one that they came out with in the 80s. You remember that movie V? That well, first they came out with the first year they came out with two 2-hour programs that were in a row, and then they redid it the next year, and they played the first 2 episodes, and then they had 3 more episodes they added on. That was pretty cool. Had pretty good special effects, especially since it was a TV movie. But that was more of a disaster movie too. Human beings fall into alien invasion. We come as your friends. Isn't that what the government is? Well, how can I help you? Stay the hell away from me. But I really like The Stand. I mean, I read the book after I saw the movie. And the book's a lot different in a lot of parts than the movie. Like Larry, he don't leave New York with that gal that he leaves there with. He leaves with a different one. She's a druggie, but she ends up dying in the tent and stuff. And then he meets that Nadine in a group that's headed to Colorado and stuff. So anyway, that was all different and stuff. And then the dog, how the dog, anyway, the book's a lot, but that's anything. The book's a lot better. It can go in a lot more detail, but it's like 1,200 pages. But yeah, The Stand, I like that movie. Okay. That's, this is the thing with the pandemic, okay? When they tell you to panic, it's all about control. When they tell you not to panic, then it's, as they're leaving town and stuff, it's every man for yourself, okay? So when you're not to panic, it's going to come down to every man for himself. But all I know is they're sitting there trying to say that we had a pandemic, especially I studied the 1917, 1918 flu in the mid-90s and stuff. I studied it quite intensively. And that's why I knew when they tried to pass this other thing in 2020 and 2021 in as a pandemic, well, I was a little bit more educated than the average person, I guess. So I didn't fall for the game, as Simon says. But I tell you what's going to chase me out of here first, the bugs or the rain? I wouldn't mind getting a nice rainfall for the yard, another nice ½ inch. That's one thing. You can sit there, water your grass, and I got water that comes right out of the aquifer, Ogallala Aquifer. But rainwater from the sky, it makes the grass perk up better than even stuff that comes out of the ground. I don't know why. It just does. It's something I've noticed about nature. I try to notice as much as I can. Helps me become a good lone wolf. Helps me become a good prepper. Makes me understand my surroundings. You never know when you'll need the knowledge. Anyway, all these bugs. But if I get in the wind, then he ain't going to be able to hear me. God, can you just give me a break, please? Anyway, But I see we ain't having too much of an audience today. YouTube is just got a problem with me all of a sudden. Just slamming me down hard. Oh, when it comes to the time when we actually deal with SHTF and all these people that think they got all this control and all this power and all this and that and da 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 da, they got the people wrapped around their fucking little pinky. I'd hate to be them when they actually get the reality call, because this thing, they got money, right? Money that makes people do things for them. That's how they get people to do things, when they pay them a lot of money and stuff. What do you do when money's not worth anything and it's every man for himself? They're going to leave him like a hot potato. Get out of here. You're in my way. Okay, and then all these rich people are going to be on their own. I mean, when you have nothing, you're going to find out how much loyalty you had from these people, which would have been nothing. All right? Especially when they see you turn into a whiny ass. But anyway, what do you do? It seems like the powers that be are just trying to sit there and create a storm that it's even going to affect them, and they don't think it's going to bother them. But anyway, I'm getting rained on. I don't want my phone to get too wet, so I'm probably going to go in. Anyway, I appreciate the ones that were here, people that watched the replay. But yeah, between the bugs and the rain, and like I said, I've been outside all afternoon. Been just fine. I mean, it's been cool. It's been nice mowing. And I use a push mower, people. Push. And it was beautiful working today. Yeah, I got a little sweaty, but it's not like my shirt was completely wet, okay? But nothing wrong with that either. Nothing wrong with learning to endure. Learn to sit there and push yourself through. Not like I haven't done that my whole life, but anyway. Just a little more stuff to, like that video I said, the tougher the better. Anyway, everybody have a great evening. This is Tom, the Lone Wolf Prepper. I'm out of here.